good morning. Welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince, and it is Friday. We're about to hit on the weekend, and another week passing us by, getting us closer to the end of the year. Hopefully you're doing well today. If not, I hope it gets better for you. Anyway, Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. Theevildm.com is my website where you can sign up for the newsletter and get everything I'm doing there. From AD&D to D6 to whatever else I'm doing. You can also support me by going to buymeacoffee.com/theevildm. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Oriental adventures, and specifically honor. The mechanic that I really enjoyed when I played a lot of Oriental adventures. When we played with the great Joe DM, he loved to run Oriental adventures. That was one of the things he constantly would would pull out. When we played AD&D, he would always push us towards Oriental adventures. Not really push, because this is the 80s, let me tell you. And, being a ninja or anything like that was in, because there was tons of those movies out and, things like that. So we didn't have a problem playing Oriental adventures at all. And nobody found it racist or anything like that. It was actually really well researched and done by Gygax and company. Joe himself was Asian descent, and he had no problem with this book. And to this day, he really has no problem with this book. I've spoken to him, and he has no problem with the book. He still loves playing this setting because it's a game. That's all it really is. Anyway, honor is a mechanic that was introduced in this book towards the tail end of AD&D 1E. It is a really cool mechanic, and I think it's a good way to keep those murder hobo PCs in line. You have two different forms of honor. You have your personal honor that you would keep for yourself, and you'd also have a family honor. Now, this is dating to how most of Asian cultures, specifically Japan, places emphasis on honor amongst themselves and their family. So that's kind of where this whole concept came from. If you flip to page 35 in the book, there is 2 pages on honor. And I will just kind of talk about it in general, not actually just read it, because I don't want to bore you with 2 pages of reading. But all characters start with a certain amount of honor. Those with family clans determine their starting honor by comparing their family's base honor to their ability scores. Other characters' base honor is determined by the race, class, and ability scores as well. Now, there's a chart on below. It starts with your base honor, and depending on the class you are, that would be your honor that you would start with. Should you have no actual family when you roll up your whole background in here. And this is one of the books that had a lot of detail when it comes to background, because you kind of need it for your family and what clan you're part of. So go through the whole process and don't skip anything, and try to really flesh out your character when it comes to doing all this, because it's well worth it. So those with a family or a family clan start their base honor determined by their birth rank. Add or subtract any adjustments to the family's honor obtained on the table 39 ancestry. The final result is the family's honor and should be noted on the player character's record sheet under the heading Family Honor. Always use pencil, and there's a reason for that, because you can lose honor for your family as well. If the family honor is a negative number, raise it to 0, because you can have a negative number when starting out. Next, using the family honor as a base, add any bonuses due to the character's birthrights. Finally, add in the lowest ability score of the character. This is the player's starting honor and is noted on the character sheet under character honor. So you have a family honor and you have a character honor when you're playing in the game. Now, gaining and losing honor can really depend on the situation. During the course of play, player characters can cause him or her to gain or lose honor points. Some classes are more concerned than others with honor, and characters from those classes may gain or lose more honor for the same action that someone from another class might get. A samurai's honor, for example, fluctuates a lot more than a Wujen or a Shukenja. Kenja, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've never pronounced these correctly. No character can have more than 100 points of honor. Once you're at 100 points of personal honor, you are capped. But you could still keep record because if we continue along, I'll tell you why. Honor points are always awarded by the DM. Players can make a reasonable protest if they feel the DM overlooks something, but the DM's judgment is final. I love that they always say, and Gary always said in his books, the DM's judgment is final. And that's something they don't really talk about in other books. Honor points are normally awarded to the end of an adventure or on long adventures. However, the DM can award honor points after major encounters, a deed, or at the end of each gaming session. Typically, honor points awarded are listed on table 42. Honor awards organized by character class. It's impossible to cover every situation that might occur. The DM is rely on his judgment and using the list as a guideline in situations that are uncovered. Now, for the actual situation, they have honor awards for all characters, and then there's one specifically for each class. So, honor awards or negatives, depending on how you look at it. Accused of a crime, if you're innocent or not, you are minus 4 points. Acquiring property, plus 1 point. Avenging murder of a family member, plus 5. You're banished, negative 5. Being taken prisoner, negative 10. This one specifically is double for a samurai character. Breaking an oath, negative 4. This one is double for a samurai. Let me skip ahead. Defeating monsters. This applies to only points earned by defeating a single creature. You get plus 1 per 2,000 experience points. Fulfilling an oath, plus 2. Fulfilling family debt, plus 7. Giving a gift of value to NPC, 1, so on and so on. And there's like lots of things here that you can go over to do that. So it's like small things. It's kind of like you have to keep track of things when you're playing as a DM. So it's easy and yet good. But for family honor, you have a certain amount that you start with, and you can gain and lose family honor in a certain way. So to gain family honor, for every 10 points of personal honor that you gain a point to your family honor. Now, you get it only when you hit the certain groups of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Obviously, if your character is capped at 100, you can still keep counting if you gain honor because you need to for your family's honor. But on the other end of this spectrum, their losing honor for your family is a lot faster. As opposed to 10 points, it's every 5 points you lose your personal honor, you lose a point for your family honor. To the point that the effects of honor here, this is what it is. As a character gains loses honor, certain advantages and disadvantages automatically come into play. Some of these are quite beneficial and others are extremely grave. First and foremost, if any character, no matter what race or character class, ever allows his honor to fall below 0, that character is out of the game. They should crumple up their character sheet and toss it away. That's pretty harsh, but when you're out of honor, personal honor, you pretty much would want to kill yourself if you're going by Japanese standards, I believe, back then. If a character of a samurai or a kensai class allows his honor to fall below the current base honor of his family, he loses his status as a samurai or kensai. Samurais become ronins and kensai become bushi. He has dishonored his family. A character of any class whose honor falls below his family's honor or below the base given for his class immediately incurs a negative 20% modifier on all NPC reactions within the members of the family. This negative modifier remains in effect until the character's honor again equals or exceeds the family's honor to the character's base honor. For every 10 honor points a character has above his family's or a character class based honor, the character gains a +5 bonus NPC reactions with all members of the family. So you can see how honor is actually a mechanic that has a lot of importance. And then when it comes to playing in this setting, you will have various family members or family clans all over the place, and they will know who you are. And when they know, because you will generally will have some type of a way of identifying one another, whether it be we used in our campaigns, we had most of the people would have their family crest, clan crest on them somehow on a weapon or something, so that they can identify one another, or they'd even have a tattoo to show one another. So when a character earns 75 honor points, he receives a gift from a powerful lord known to him. The gift is appropriate to the level and class of the character. A 6th level samurai might receive an ornate scabbard sword, while a 12th level Wujin might be given a miscellaneous magical item. In no case will characters be given gifts that might pose as a threat to the NPC lord. The player character, of course, is expected to return the compliment somehow. So I'm going to continue because there's a couple more things here. When a character receives 80 points of honor, his name begins appearing in popular songs and stories as a minor or local folk hero of mention. In addition, there is a 10% chance per week that a notorious foe, human or otherwise, starts boasting of his ability to vanquish the character. Such boasts automatically reach the character's ears. Should the character refuse to seek out and defeat this foe, he suffers a loss of 10 honor points immediately. When a character reaches 90 honor points, he's invited to come and serve as one of the most powerful lords of the land. The DM decides who. The character is under no obligation to accept. Refusal, however, angers the lord, and characters suffer a negative 10% penalty on reaction rolls with the lord and his followers. When a character reaches 95 honor points, he is considered a great hero. Suitable material for an epic song, blah, 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 blah. Folk tales and the like are made about him. The character, let's see here, and like him, yeah. So there's a lot of good things that happen when it comes to this. The character automatically gains a +10 bonus on all reaction rolls with a character of lesser rank and a negative 10 penalties with those creatures of the opposite alignment or belief. The final benefit of honor comes into play when a character dies and is not returned to play. In this case, the player's next character gains a bonus to his die rolls. So there's a whole chart on page 36 which gives you the possible situations when you can gain or lose honor. Obviously, it's just a guideline, and you as the DM have to do a judgment. And I think this right here is a really good way to keep people in line for a campaign. Because again, when you're playing AD&D, or D&D for that matter, you're playing a campaign of heroes. You're not playing a campaign of villains. Unless you, of course, are playing a villainous campaign, which is said that, hey, this is going to be a villainous campaign. You guys are going to be villains, but, be warned that the more evil indeed acts you do, you're going to have the good guys come after you. Just like when I ran my Marvel superhero game, I ran it as a Marvel villains game, and I told them, you can be villains, but remember, the superheroes will be coming after you. The more you do, the more you get noticed. So, again, most role-playing games assume that you're playing the good guy, you're playing the hero, and I'm not talking about lawful good. It could be any type of shade of good. People make mistakes and people do dumb things, and this chart will help keep you from doing dumb things. I don't know, some people might think it's dumb. I thought it was pretty cool to get awarded for doing something. It just, a lot of role plays involved with the Oriental Adventures, and this chart really digs into it. And this honor system really is a fascinating mechanic that I've always really loved. So I don't know if you've ever used it. Let me know if you've kind of just breezed by this. I thought it was something that I've never seen another game kind of do. I don't even know if they did it in Legend of the Five Rings. I vaguely remember Legend of the Five Rings. Tell me in the comments below what you think. Head on over to Spotify. You can comment there. or you can comment on the YouTube channel.com/evilDM where this video will be. Other than that, I'm going to head out. Keep original, keep it old school. Good night, God bless, and keep those AD&D fires lit. Good night, everybody.